Hi there, Janet Fritz here for Galaxy Girl Creations. Welcome to my channel and welcome to Off the Board. I haven't played along with Off the Board in a while. It is a monthly series we do the last Wednesday of the month. We use our Pinterest boards for inspiration, and this is the pin that I chose to use. I really liked those squares that were turned into diamonds and the mixed media behind them. So I'm starting with these 3 pieces of paper. And the reason I chose these paper are the colors in the photos, the green grass, the blue cars, and the red cars. And I just used that Creative Memories 1.5 inch punch, punched a bunch of them out, and then I am folding them across diagonally and then diagonally corner to corner on the opposing sides to get the creases that were shown in the original up there in the upper right hand corner. You can see those. So I'm kind of going to play with the placement of those before I get too involved in the mixed media. I do decide to use this this stencil from Pear Tree, and I am using some Vicky Bouton texture paste in Cherry Tart. It is one of her older ones, and I really like it because it is a true red, and so it works very well for these types of things that layouts that have a lot of primary color on them, and so I'm really happy with the way that that turned out. I will put a link down below to the stencil. I don't know if they even have this Cherry Tart texture paste available anymore, but if they do, I will put the link for that down below as well. I have had it for several years, so I'm not sure that they actually have it anymore. And then the 3 colors of ink that I am using are Rustic Wilderness and Tumbled Glass in both oxides, and then I'm using the regular Distress ink in Lumberjack Plaid, which is the new red. And I'm kind of just giving a kind of hazy look around the layout by using the tumbled glass. You saw me test all 3 colors on the back side. I didn't think the green showed up well enough, and the red on the black looked a little more, it kind of had a purple undertone to it, and so it didn't look very good with the red mixed media I have on the front side, but I am still going to use it to ink up all of these squares. Now I don't end up using a ton of these squares that I punched, and that's totally okay, but I do ink them up, all 3 of them, with the 3 colors that I just mentioned, just to give them a nice definition around the outside. I really like the way that looks, rather than just leaving them plain. They kind of look a little more finished to my eye. Okay, now I thought I would try and rub a little bit of the blue ink off of the top of some of those red diamonds, but it ended up just removing the ink from the black paper, and so I just went over it again with a little bit more blue ink, in case you're wondering what just happened there. It wasn't anything that was really detrimental to the layout either way, but you know, I didn't really want to wipe the ink off of the black background. I just wanted to pull it off of the red diamond. I decided just to forget trying to do that because those diamonds are so small. Now I'm just using my Nuvo Deluxe adhesive and my T-square ruler to adhere these squares in a diamond pattern, and the main reason I'm using the liquid adhesive is, well, first of all, I'm going over mixed media, so I do want to make sure it stays, and that is the best way to make sure that it stays. The other reason is it gives me a little bit of room for negotiation. Basically, I can kind of wiggle them around if I don't have them straight up and down. I can kind of pivot them, and it's a little bit more forgiving than the ATG gun. Although over the mixed media, the ATG doesn't stick great, so I guess I would have a little time to play. But again, it doesn't stick great, so I didn't want things falling off. So anyway, liquid glue over mixed media is always your best bet if you want things to stay really well. Now I'm just trying to decide because I feel like just using 6 of these squares is not enough, but I felt like if I used more, it's covering up too much of the mixed media. And my inspiration piece, they only have like a small photo on that layout, whereas I've got 3 full-size, well, almost full-size 4x6. The selfie doesn't print a true 4x6, so they are almost 4x6, but it doesn't, you know, it's 2 3x4s printed on a 4x6 sheet, and it's just not, I'm just not going to have as much mixed media or detail in the background showing. So I just have to go with it the way it is. Now I did move those bottom 3 pieces down a little lower, and it did rip the paper just a tiny bit. And what I was doing with the Sharpie was I was filling in where it left a little bit of white paper from the back of those squares, and I didn't want that to show, of course, so I just used a little Sharpie to fill in over it so that it would cover it up. Now I have these chipboard stars. These are from the monthly embellishment box from Some Assemblage Required. And actually they are a Dusty Rose product, but she is I'm sorry, not Dusty Rose, Dusty Attic product. And she is out of Australia. And so MK has a bunch of her chipboard that she is working with in her embellishment boxes, or providing in her embellishment boxes, and that's where this comes from. So here in the US, it may not be, I mean, maybe you do want to order from Australia, but there's a lot of people I know that don't want to order directly from Australia because of shipping costs, and I am not saying that you shouldn't. If that is something that you enjoy, then go for it. But if you want to find them other places with find this somewhere else, it is available through MK's shop or through her embellishment box. And she does have some other ones in her shop as well as standalone items. So anyway, I am using some Dilutions white linen paint to go ahead and paint these acrylic pieces. And I'm going over each one of them twice just to give a nice good coating. And once I get that done, the top pieces, because the ones with the cutouts, they are the same size as the solid ones, so that you can layer them. Now you don't have to layer them by any stretch of the imagination. You can use them as two separate pieces, but they are made with that in mind, the idea that you can layer them. So I am going over the top ones that have the cutouts with more of the mixed media from Vicki Boutin, that cherry tart texture paste. And the reason I chose that is because the red ink was not dark enough. It was not vibrant enough. It was dark, it just wasn't vibrant enough. And rather than getting out red paint, I decided to, because I want them the same color as the background mixed media, I just decided to use the texture paste. So I'm just dabbing it on there, and I really like the way that it comes out. So this is something you kind of have to dab at, because if you try to brush it on, you will get texture paste stuck in the little crevices. And so tapping it off on my mat and then tapping it over the star seems to be the best method that I have found so far, and I really like the way that that looks. I did end up going around the outside of the stars with my white paint pen, just to make sure that the dark edge from the chipboard didn't show. And you don't really get to see that on camera here, but I did end up doing that. Now I am just using some liquid glue to adhere the two pieces together. I think that's going to hold up the best. And I like it because now my red stars pop a little bit more with that white behind them, whereas you can see that top star that is not actually sitting on top of the star, it's with the black background, it's getting a little bit lost. So I'm really liking the actual white underneath that provides that kind of bold pop of the red. So once I get all of that done, I'm going to go ahead and put my photos down. I'm being mindful of how I place my photos, also making sure that as they're turning around the corners to the right or the left, that they are on the proper side of the layout, and they don't look like they're driving off of the page or anything like that. And I do know that my photo on the right is higher than the one on the left, and that is okay. That is actually was my intention. I want them a little bit staggered to give a little bit of a flow of movement, or a feel of movement, and I really like how that looks. Get those positioned. I want to remind you this is a monthly hop that we do, and Crystal Barrett is the person who started this hop, and the link to her channel and everyone else that is playing along with Off the Board is down below, so that you can easily get to their videos and check out what they have to offer. This is such a great idea and a great way to use up to use the things that you pin on Pinterest to give you some inspiration. So I highly encourage you to go and check that out. So now I know I want to add a couple more of those squares just to use more and to give a little more visual interest. I'm just trying to decide which colors I need. I am going to use this large blue acrylic title from Colorcast Designs, and this title says the best part. In case you're wondering why I'm calling it the best part, is I have photos from earlier in the month that you may have seen me scrapbook that has bumper boats in it, and those were from the same day, and same with the mini golf ones. So at this particular venue that they're at, they have all of these options. They have laser tag as well and arcade, but the best part to my kids is always the go-karts. And you know, in large part that is because none of them could drive at this time, and you know, they get to go as fast as they want, and they can drive all by themselves. So anyway, so this is always the best part of their day, and so I decided to go ahead and document it as such. Now I am using my red paint pen there just to go over a couple of the corners of the stars where my hand that had my fingertips had a little bit of white paint on them, and I touched it, and so it had a little bit of white, so I'm just covering that up. And I am just doodling a double line around the entirety of the layout just to kind of finish it off. And as you see there, I added one more blue square and one more red square as they go off the page. I really like the way that that looks. It kind of adds a little bit more of the movement feel to it to finish off my layout. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. The close-ups are coming up, and I really appreciate the time that you took to spend with me today. If you have questions or comments, you can leave those down below. I will respond as quickly as I can. It does take me some time, so bear with me. And don't forget to hit the thumbs up button. And if you're not already subscribed to my channel, I would love for you to subscribe as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.